So what are these signs? One of the thing that is mentioned is saying Shahadah at the time of death. Saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And we mentioned many times earlier that a person who says this will enter Jannah. And if he says Muhammadur Rasulullah also, the forgiveness is guaranteed for him. So it's very great ni'mah. If somebody says La ilaha illallah, that's a great ni'mah. So that's if you go to a place where a person is like almost about to die, we tell him to say La ilaha illallah. When he said that, just tell him to don't speak any other thing. Just keep saying it. Don't complain. Don't say, oh, I'm suffering a lot. I'm going through a lot of pain. People tend to do that, but tell them again and again, just make your last words as La ilaha illallah. Because if they say that, they are getting the certificate of Jannah, as Prophet Muhammad said. That happened to one of her sheikh during those 9/11 times. There was like hate crimes going on in many places, right? So his father was coming out of the masjid, and he was closing the door of the mosque, and somebody shot him. So he came running to him, so he was almost dying, and he said at that very moment, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And his sheikh said that don't say anything else. That's it. That be your last words. And then he died. So that's the death that very few people get able to. So many people are just very scared when such thing happens. But only true believers are able to say that right moment. And we mentioned many times also again previously that when a person says Shahadah, the souls out of the body comes out easily, which is a painful process. We discussed this last time. And also Allah provides security as it departs. And on the Day of Judgment, when people come out from their graves, they will be scared too. But there are few people, when they come out, they'll emit light. So when you try to find out why this person is special, the light coming out. So these people, they said Shahadah at the time of death. That's a special thing. And also, it's not just saying this, it has to come from the heart. It's not like you go to non-Muslim and is dying and say La ilaha illallah. No, it has to come from the heart. It's from a believing heart. And when such a thing happens, Allah removes the distress as well. Next sign, while doing a good deed. You've seen this picture many times, right? In internet, subhanAllah. This is a person who was in Masjid al-Nabawi. Yes. He was making sajda, and he died in the sajda. So look at this, a traveler coming to Medina and in Masjid al-Nabawi and dying in sajda. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, actually this is a hadith in Sahih Muslim, every slave will be resurrected upon the same thing upon which he died. So this person, inshallah, we will see him doing sajda when he gets up on the day of resurrection. So, it's very rare we see such things happen. And also I was wishing to play some video clips as well, but I didn't have time. This is also very famous in internet, YouTube, that a sheikh was giving halaqa, and he was like giving very nice halaqa, and all of a sudden he just finished. He just collapsed and he died. That's a sign of good ending. And within seconds he just nobody could even know that he could die that time. But that such things happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows that these are good endings, and we should hope for such endings as well. And before this, also there's a hadith that there are three things. If people, if their last deed was those, then they are the people of Jannah. One we mentioned is kalima, Shahadah, La ilaha illallah. Other one says that the last deed was fasting, and the other one, last deed was sadaqah. So if somebody puts something in the donation box and something happens along the way, subhanAllah, Jannah certified, inshallah. Third sign is perspiring forehead. If you see a lot of sweat on somebody's forehead when they die, that is another sign that's a good end for this person. It's mentioned in Musnad Ahmad. A believer dies with a perspiring forehead, sweat on the forehead.
How does it relate?
It's not mentioned in the hadith why it happens, but it just says that a believer. It's basically Allah Subhanahu wa Taala saying, Prophet Muhammad saying that he's a believer. So no, it's a sign of a believer. So whenever we see in a hadith that Prophet Muhammad saying he's a believer, or he will enter Jannah, or he will get these rewards, or he will be saved from these punishments, all these hadith scholars collected and said that these are signs of good ending. So this is one of them. And also, a person who dies in the night or day of Jumah, and a hadith in Sahih, in actually Tirmidhi, it's a Sahih hadith that any Muslim who dies on the day or night of Jum'ah is protected by Allah from the tribulation of the grave. So the grave punishment and this difficult moment for a person, he will be saved from it, this particular day. And Jum'ah, as we said earlier, it starts from a previous day, actually Thursday after Maghrib, then one day later. So that's counted in Jum'ah. Next is, if there are some righteous people, and if they are in the gathering where the person died, and if two righteous people testify or praise this person who died, that mashallah, he was a very good man, he used to volunteer for the masjid, his akhlaq was very good, and he used to help people, they praise basically at that moment, then according to the hadith, that this guarantees Jannah for that person who died, because it's Allah makes them tell those good things at that time. So that's another sign. But the conditions that scholars have put down is that not everybody who praise them, but only those praises that come out of righteous people. And also two conditions actually. Righteous meaning that they're truthful and they're knowledgeable and they do good deeds, and also they have acquaintance with that people. They know about that person. They live with him, or they know his history, and they are very well familiar with him. Not just coming out of somewhere and saying he's a good person or so, but they know him really. It comes from their heart. So that's a good sign again. And a guard in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's so many ahadith about it, really. And anybody who, when they go for a jihad, when they go for a battle, when a Muslim army goes, the person there's one person assigned who is supposed to guard all the Muslim army. And that person, in the battleground, it is, one hadith, it mentions that job of his, if he dies during that time, it's better than fasting the whole month, and it is better than praying at nights for the whole month. And very, very interestingly, see, when a person dies, all good deeds come to an end, right? Except for sadaqatul jariyah, everything ends. The account of good deeds is logged. But for this particular person, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if there was some deed that he used to do regularly, like he used to make 10 times subhanallah or astaghfirullah every day, he will continue to get those rewards even after he died until the day of judgment. And he is provided with the provisions from Jannah. And also this category as well, they are secured from the trials of the grave as well, and from the interrogating angels. And the last one is we have Shaheed. This is a big topic, and we are going to go into more detail. But Shaheed is a broad topic. Many people think that Shaheed is the one who loses the life in the battle, who gets martyr, and there is a lot of benefits and rewards that we need to know about it, and there are a lot of misconceptions, especially in today's generation, regarding this topic. Inshallah, if we have time, we will go into it. What do people say about extremism and terrorism and so on? A little bit, touch upon it.